So I decided to participate in ARTZ Jeff for a few reasons. First, I was an undergraduate. My major was anthropology. And we took this one course. It was called Anthropology of the Self. And we read this piece about an anthropologist whose mother had dementia. And she brought up the question, in our culture, is selfhood defined by your memory or your ability to recognize? And if that's the case, is that why patients with dementia might be more marginalized or pushed to the side or not respected as a full self? And it got me thinking, maybe we need to come up with a new definition of selfhood. Maybe it's the ability to care and the ability to be cared for that really makes you a self, and being able to enter a moment with another human and really coexist, and that's more what it's about. So I wanted to explore that. And also, it also got me thinking, what, in this marginalized population, what in this new selfhood they're experiencing, what are the difficulties in their day-to-day life, and what are the benefits? Like, not everything is negative, I thought. And on top of that, what about their caretakers? Their lives are also totally flipped upside down, and I really wanted to explore that. And before I truly kind of knew how that worked, how could I best serve my future patients? So that's really what got me interested. So I think there's actually a few experiences that really have stuck with me since the program ended. And I think the first was the first session we met at the Barnes. We hadn't met our mentors yet. We gathered in the lobby, and then Susan took us into the gallery, and we all sat in front of this Renoir painting. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, we haven't been introduced. Are we supposed to know who are the mentors and who are the students here? But Susan started asking us questions about the painting, and kind of as time went on, you kind of forgot about who was who, and what mattered much more was, okay, who's going to say something next? Who's going to say something about this painting that I didn't see myself? And why can they see something that I couldn't see to start with? And that got me thinking about why it's so awesome that we mixed art in with this program, because with art, you have this object hanging on a wall, and there's this dimension you can explore, not only in say it's a painting, the painting itself, but also behind it, like what's the story about the artist and the subject, but also in front of it. What's the story about the group sitting in front of it, and how their individual stories are helping them to see things in the painting that you might have not seen yourself. So that is one thing that really stood out to me. I think participating in this program definitely had a large effect on my day-to-day life. Everyone's talking about mindfulness now. It's this buzzword, and how you have to make time for it every day and concentrate on feeling the chair like beneath you and all these things. But what this program did is, it was almost like this natural mindfulness. Every day you'd think about something that happened. Things maybe you took for granted before, spending time with a loved one, just enjoying things. And it really stopped and made me think on my day-to-day life, the things I'm grateful for, and the way I interact with people. This also had an effect on the way I interact with people, and that it really gets you thinking, there's a story behind that person, and you can't assume that they're just like you. You don't know what's happening with them, and it really makes you mindful of your interactions as well. I would say the biggest thing I took away from ARTZ Jeff is that we're not always going to know the answer. And sometimes the best way to deal with that is to know you're not going to know the answer. And I think the biggest part of healing is being there for your patient, and being there means listening. Being there doesn't mean knowing exactly what it's like to be them. Being there means being there with them in that moment and for them. I think that's the biggest thing I took away.